Hi everyone, and welcome back to this week's episode of the Real Talking Podcast. And we've had another eventful week. It's been a bit extraterrestrial this week, haven't we?
Yeah, active.
Yeah, so I'll let you start off with your little piece.
Yeah, so an interview came out with David Grosh, who's a former Air Force officer, a former intelligence officer, and a geospatial intelligence agency officer.
Yeah,
Fancy word.
I reckon they're just making words up
Yeah,
sometimes.
I mean, there's always an officer with Americans. They're like intelligence, officer.
Yeah.
Because you're smart.
Mm.
But yeah, so this is the interview that he did, and this is what he had to say.
If you're telling us the truth, everyone, the entire American public, has been lied to for decades.
Yeah, there's a sophisticated disinformation campaign targeting the U.S. populace, which is extremely unethical and immoral.
You are saying to the human race, for the first time, an official intelligence representative at a high level from the US government is saying publicly, we are not alone.
We're definitely not alone. Absolutely, the data points empirically that we're not alone. Yeah.
Do we have bodies? Do we have species of
Well,
non-human?
naturally, when you recover something that's either landed or crashed, sometimes you encounter dead pilots. And believe it or not, as fantastical as that sounds, it's true.
So yeah, that was David Grosh saying that we're not alone, and sometimes you encounter dead pilots from aircraft that are not human made. So I've listened to it, and also he did confess that him himself has no direct witness to seeing any aircraft himself or even touching one or anything like that. It's just he's found the documents and spoke to the people that's provided photographs and so on. That's how he's came to know, and he obviously went further into it.
Yeah.
But,
So it is an interview that I've flagged myself and I've been meaning to listen to.
yeah,
So he says that he's not physically seen anything,
No,
it's
yeah.
just from everyone else that he spoke
Yeah.
to and the evidence that he's seen.
right. So, but the one thing, and it's just the one thing, Lloyd. So, anything mysterious we love,
Yeah.
and aliens, I get it, and I want to believe this, I really do.
Mm.
But it's when he says about the pilots from spacecraft either landed or crashed. Now, and this will go on to further, we're going to talk about
Yeah.
later on actually, because even an aircraft crashed, why wouldn't it be in an area where there's loads of witnesses, and why would, if there was going to crash, why would it be in the middle of nowhere, but only did
Well, going off of like when pilots for the planes are having malfunctions or whatever, they always try and aim for the ocean or
Yeah.
areas where they're not vastly populated to minimise any damage and
Yeah.
fatalities. So there could be that kind of bit of a thought process going in their heads,
Yeah.
or whatever they do have that
Yeah.
has their intelligence in there.
But also, he said landed, so why would they just landed and wherever, and just these people know where they've landed.
Yeah, well, I've been seeing a lot of these UFO videos, not just lately, but for a while now, and there is a fair few. I think there was some in Vegas recently where there was it looked like a star constellation. There was that many lights from these crafts in the air, and it wasn't just one person that's recorded. There was several of them at the same time, and you could see all the different camera points of views. And so I don't feel that they're always going to try and hide and crash or land in different non-populated areas. It's just that everyone's got a camera in the pocket now, haven't they? So it's going to be, I think people like this now have got to start coming out because they can't hide it for too much longer. It's going to be too easy for everyone to figure everything out.
Yeah, well, you are right saying that, and he did come out and say that they've got a few of these spacecraft, and in terms of coming out, obviously, there's a woman called Leslie Keane, and she's the one, I don't know if you remember, Jay, a few years back, the Pentagon released all these UFO videos that they've kept secret for a while and they've become really popular.
Yeah.
It's the Tic Tac one, I think, is the most famous one, and she helped obviously bring that to the forefront.
Yeah.
And obviously she's helping him bring this out to the forefront, like, you know, bring it mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I do think a lot more people will come out, but if imagine you spacecraft landed, what the fuck would you do?
Well, it's panic station straight away,
Yeah.
really, isn't it? You know, it's if they literally did just land in the garden, you're scared at first. 'Cause you don't know what's happening, but you just gotta
You'd
just
be
look.
intrigued.
Yeah, you just
Yeah,
gotta
you'd
look
be
and just
intrigued.
see, you know, do they need help for starters? Do they look like they're injured, or are you just gonna get out of your house and run? But that's quite an interesting one because I've actually got a little bit of footage myself. So I think this was in Las Vegas, and it actually shows. We can hear the 911 call of this video, so I'll just play this.
Police officer's body cam catches this, something flashing low in the sky.
911 emergency.
Minutes later,
There's like an 8-foot person beside it, and another one's inside, and it has big eyes and looking at us, and it's still there.
someone calls 911 reporting two large figures in their backyard.
No, I'm so nervous right now.
The 8 News Now investigators obtaining another officer's video as he's sent to the Northwest Valley home.
I have butterflies, bro. Everyone's.
Right, so I'll give you the gist of it. There's the 911 call with the lads. He's rang up. There's been something that's crashed in his backyard or by the backyard, and as he's ran out, he can see these two figures. They're 8 to 9, 8, 9 or 10 foot tall, and he carries on. He describes them. They're quite stocky. They've got big eyes, and you can see the noses as well. And they were just staring at him, and you can see from another police officer's body cam footage of blue lights just falling from the sky in that direction. So the police officer that actually responds to the 911 call, he pulls up and straight away he's saying, look, if it wasn't for one of my officers seeing this light fall down in this general direction, I wouldn't be entertaining this, because we get calls like it all the time. And so he's run through and he's asking neighbours, did you see anything? They're like, yeah, the log just come down, heard a big bang, and yeah, that's all we know. But there's no, whatever crashed or landed had gone within minutes. So essentially these beings come out, had a little bit of a look around for a couple of minutes, and then they've toddled off, essentially while the phone calls are being made. There is footage as he's gone into his garden, but because he's got family members in front of him, and it's just like a 3-foot gate that he's trying to look through, because it's more towards like outside of his garden, out of the back of his back garden, and you can just about make out what seems like a head with big eyes, but it's dark and it's a bit blurry and it's zoomed out. So it's the evidence is there really. It's whether it's actually alien life forms, we'll soon find out. But it's quite a strange one really. It's a shame that he didn't get a good picture of them.
Yeah.
But he's done videos since as well, saying, look, I'm not here for fame or anything. This has actually happened. I'm not trying to get money or whatever. And he recalls his events. He was just chilling in the house and whatever. And then his brother shouts to him, so he grabs his tools, goes out, and he's like, "Oh crap, these are here. What do we do?" So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Are we about to get invaded? Are we going to release all evidence of what has been and what's going to come, or is it just the odd one that keeps popping here and there?
Because this year has been quite active. Me and you spoke just quickly before off the pod.
Yeah.
And because I remember earlier in the year that I think they shut down a supposed UFO or UAP, whatever they want to call them now.
Oh yeah.
over Canada and Alaska.
Yeah.
So this year, I mean, I think next year or so, and then obviously they released the things last year in terms of the videos from the Pentagon. I think it was all 2021 maybe. But anyway, it just seems that the movements, it's coming as where it's always been quite reserved and quite frowned and joked upon that, it's getting pushed forward more than it normally would do.
Yeah, I mean, again, there's other potential theories out there. There was a bit of a section on one of the Joe Rogan podcasts that I was watching the other week, and the gentleman that he was interviewing, he's been in contact with a person that's been developing or redeveloping old and lost technologies. So they touched on how the pyramids were made, and one of those theories is that it was how to move the rocks, the stones, and everything was through a sound wave. So with the hieroglyphics, there's pictures of a group of people standing around the rocks and the stones floating. So the theory is that essentially, when you've seen these videos of a person's got a glass in front of them, then they hit a high note and the glass will shatter. So they're somehow resonating the vocal cords to be able to lift these stones and everything and put them into place. So that's one potential. That's probably not a technology, but there was also the Tesla technologies, and then just other ones that the Egyptians and all the other ones with the pyramids and that have potentially been lost. So this person's been reinventing them or refiguring them out, and so that's it's not that they haven't already figured it out. It took 10 years or so to be able to get the patterns for them. So because obviously everything's got to be copyrighted and registered and everything now. So now that they've got all that in position, we're going to potentially start seeing these new technologies coming out. So the flying cars or everything will come out. So that was leading me to think, if we had all these advanced civilizations hundreds of thousands of years ago, is it that they've explored, gone so far out, haven't found anything within their capability, and now they've come back? Or maybe every now and again, do they just send someone back just to say what's going on?
Yeah.
Where are we these days? Because you can search through, it's all on Google and that. There's different images of the way the pharaohs had the big hats on.
Yeah.
And
they have the alien looking heads.
Yeah, so it's like a prolonged skull, and there's ones that have been dug up. They're actually in museums over, I believe, in Mexico as well, out on show. So is that like a former human?
Like a hybrid?
Is that what we were before those civilizations went? Did they know that the comets were about to come down and just destroy most of the planet? So did they leave, and what was left behind gradually evolved into what we become then? And it's strange as well, because you think how many dinosaur bones and that have been found, but there's not as many other animals. They don't really find bones of giraffes or something just dotted around. So it makes you think, so how we have our burial systems, so obviously we'll bury people or cremate them, we'll bury our dogs and stuff. Did those ancient civilizations have the dinosaurs as pets or animals that they used to help with their civilization? Did they have the ceremonies to bury them?
Yeah, it's interesting because especially when you go back to Egyptian times, the can't get my word out. Say the word for me, please.
So you got about the hieroglyphs. Sorry, yes.
Sorry. It's just and how they picked the storytelling of these star beings.
Yeah.
And it's weird. I think I read somewhere that I want to say the longitude and the altitude of the pyramids is the exact if you was to put it in numbers, this sack that you'd have to.
It's yeah. So there's more mathematical equations that we obviously don't know
Yeah.
because we're thick. But yeah, it's all there. They along with the stars, right, and this and that,
And the speed of sound and stuff like that. Like there's too
Yeah.
many like things that match up. That
it's-
would point that
it's not
they
all
knew more
coincidence.
than
Yeah.
we think they would have known at that time.
Yeah, because there's even a device that was dug up. I don't know how long ago it was, but they just our modern day scientists just haven't got a clue what it is. They're saying it could be a device used for as a map for calculations to measure distances. That it looks like because you can see the cogs inside. Well, it's similar to cogs, but a mechanical system that was moving. And they literally don't know what it was used for. They just know that's a form of technology, and it literally is. You can see it's like gears and stuff, but they don't know how it was made, how it was used, or anything. So there's definitely stuff that what we know as inventions, the combustion engines and like computer technology. There's stuff that we know and how things work, but things would have been seen completely different.
It's our concept of how things should move
Yeah.
and should work. So as you just said, combustion to go.
Yeah.
That doesn't necessarily mean what we're talking about. That was their version of that's how you go.
Yeah, as I say, even with the theory of the harmonising your voice to be able to move these objects. So essentially, if you was to just look at it from afar, it's telekinesis, and maybe that was something that they had back then as well.
Yeah, it's interesting. It'd be interesting what comes from this.
Yeah.
If anything does, I should say. But
Yeah.
Going forward, it seems like it's definitely getting pushed.
Yeah,
to the right
they're
direction.
trying to make it out more public now, aren't they?
How cool would it be to see like a UFO though? I know
Yeah, I think as a child I thought that I've seen several, but it was probably just planes or helicopters and that.
But those ones where you like, as you said, where it could have been, but like that one where
Yeah. Well, again, because apparently Logan Paul's got the footage of it, hasn't he?
I wanted to bring this up, but
from the interview I've seen Logan's little rant. Well, not so
and
much.
he said he would bring it out at the right time.
Yeah. So the person that Logan actually spoke to find out this chap in the middle of nowhere had the footage. He was on Joe Rogan as well, and he says, I'll try and keep it as short and as accurate as I remember it all. But basically, he'd been in touch with this person who's got the actual footage for years and years beforehand, and then it was just out of the blue.
And sorry, Jack, it's supposed to be the best footage.
Yeah, the most.
So, like, this was supposed to be defined that aliens do exist, UFOs are a thing.
Yeah.
But it's just supposed to be like the best footage ever caught.
Yeah.
So that's why, obviously, Logan Paul went looking for it.
Yeah, so it was. He had the call off the chap in the trailer, and he was like, "Right, I've got this video. Come and look at it then." So he's gone, had a look, and the way he described it was that it was a video of these two lads, two brothers, he believes, were just driving along round near Area 51, I think it was, and there's like a post box or something. They're having pictures next to it, and they're doing a general touristy type of thing. And then as the video starts off again, they're inside the car, and it's like they're trying to get underneath the seats. They're scrambling, they're hiding, and you can see this light shining inside the car, but it's like it's inside, not just outside. It's as if the car's turned into glass and all of inside's illuminated. And he said essentially it was like as if it was a ball just spinning the light inside of the car. So as if they were scanning inside of this car. And one of them's turned around and gone, I've got to go, I'm running. So he's run out, and as he's just stopped and stood there, then apparently this, I believe he said it was a disc, and it wasn't just like one solid colour, it was almost like a glowy fluorescent light just shining all the way around. And so that's what, I don't know what happens after, maybe the video just cuts, but that's what this chap had seen. He spoke to Logan Paul, told him about it, and then so that original chap actually, he'd offered I think 10 grand to buy that footage off him as well, But the man in the trailer's like, no,
Yeah.
I'm not showing it. I'm not giving
I
it
think
away
they
to
need
anyone.
for like something like up to like 100 grand for
Well,
it.
yeah, so Logan Paul did the same. He says, look, I've got 100 grand cash on me right now. Let me buy it. And so the chap still says, no, I'm not selling it. No one's having this video. So he's turned around and says, well, I'm here. At least let me see it. But he had a body cam of some sort. Maybe it's like the old spy pen. With
It was a button cam, wasn't it? Like, so it was embedded in the button. So it looked like a button on his shirt. So.
Yeah. And so he's watched it like about 3 or 4 times, and he's got different angles. So it's not just a dead-on view. He's got different angles, so you can see it over and over. And yeah, he's just not. Again, Logan's not going to release it. But then,
I don't understand why Logan Paul did that. Why?
Yeah, why would you record it
and then then hold everyone else? Tell everyone you've got it and hold it to ransom.
Yeah,
because you're basically doing what that geezer was doing by not showing everyone.
But again, is that in their heads then that this is so undeniably real and scary that we don't want these people, like we don't want the general public to see what's going on?
Okay, backlash or
yeah,
whatever.
But not necessarily a backlash, or is it? It just could be just that scary that it'll blow everyone's minds. But I don't know. We'll see. I'm sure over the next few months, definitely anyway, we'll see more video evidence of other people and what else is going to come from this whistleblower.
Be interesting. I would like the acknowledgement in our lifetime that there is other beings. That's always, because when you think of universe,
the vastness of space. There has to be something. You know, again, there was something I saw the other day where they believe that there's microforms, like microorganism life forms in Uranus and Neptune, because of their oceans and with the core temperature being so hot, it's cold at like whatever levels. There's a certain good space where there's going to be some form of life form, algae or whatever. So there's got to be some level. It's just how intelligent it is. But I mean, we're here, and as a civilization, we're not the best of people really. So there's got to be other forms that have gone higher. But yeah, we'll definitely see, won't we? It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it'd be interesting, definitely interesting, and really intriguing. Just to have that knowledge that you're not alone. I suppose that would change things.
Yeah. No. Hi everyone, it's me. This is me face. Just want to remind you, we want you to send in any questions that you might have, any topics you want us to talk about. Email us at realtalkingpod@gmail.com. Tweet us, it's Ash and JD. That's the Twitter handle. So literally anything that you might have, just say hello. Literally, doesn't matter to us. Send them in. See ya. Right, so moving on from the extraterrestrial, we'll go on to the paranormal now. So obviously, a few weeks ago we had our paranormal episode where I shared my experiences. You had one, but we remembered that the week after. I actually had another experience on a job the other day. So on this job, I've fitted a new kitchen, done all the floor and everything. But while I was in the house on my own, there was a few knocks and bumps here and there. But because it's a terraced house, so there's a house either side, you just automatically assume it's the neighbours doing something, moving furniture or whatever.
And is it just like your regular terraced house, or is it like?
Yeah, so it's an older fashioned house, more of a Victorian style house. They are old houses, to be fair, over in Worcester. And yeah, so I'm not paying attention. There was the odd few light flicker as well, but I knew that these lights weren't in the best condition because I'd already tapped the one bulb and it came back on its own. So with that going on and off, you just assume, not necessarily dodgy wiring, but a dodgy bulb on its way. But then, as I've progressed through the job, so I'd put a new light fitting above the dining table, but because I didn't have the dining table there, I tied up hanging shades. So it was one of those ones where it's a strip and it's got the three cables with the big lampshade. So I'd coil them up and whacked a load of tape around them, just so I'm not going to hit my head as I'm walking in and out. And about an hour after I'd done it, the one light dropped back down. So this tape, it's never the best of tapes, it's just electrical tape, but I'd wrapped it around a good 3 times.
And it's never happened before?
No. So, I mean, if I'd wrapped it just once and barely caught it on itself, it might have done. But I'd wrapped it a good 3 times. And, so that's dropped. Look, the other two are fine. I thought, all right, maybe, in my head I'm thinking, maybe I just didn't wrap
just
it
one of those
properly.
things, yeah.
Maybe I just did one little wrap. All right, no problem. And so then, when I was there, I'd left it for the whole weekend, went back the following week, and done some other stuff. So again, I was there on my own, and this house has got a cellar as well. So something had fell over in the cellar, which I'd only been down there once just to turn the power off. Which that was a nightmare because she didn't know the alarm code, and so that was sounding off, so I had to mess around with all that. But anyway, so I'd only been down there once, and there wasn't much down there, just a load of cobwebs and a couple of boxes and stuff. So I heard something fall over, but because I didn't pay attention when I'd first been down there, I don't know what had fallen over.
And what was you like then? What was you like scared, or was you just like? Oh.
Well, if I didn't have the door leading down to the cellar open, I would have assumed it was one of the neighbours again. But I I don't know. Like, again, because I wasn't sure if it's something that maybe, because there was stuff on the stairs, like, as you go down, maybe it was something like that, but there was nothing at the bottom of the stairs. So I just thought, all right, I don't know what it was. It is what it is. So then, as I was just talking to the customer again then, one of the other light fittings fell down. So it had a good 4 days taped up and not moved at all. And obviously she'd already been upstairs over the weekend and everything, obviously up to bed and whatever. So it's not like there was someone upstairs at the time jumping up and down to try and dislodge the tape. It just dropped while we was talking.
And did she say like the house?
No, so I asked the question then. I says, have you had any activity, anything that you've noticed is a bit strange? And she's a complete non-believer, so she just says no, nothing's happened. So I think she's been in denial all these years that the house is haunted, because as I said, there was no reason for this one particular light fitting to drop down when it's been a good 3-4 days of tied up with this tape all weekend, and then it just happened to do it while I'm there again. There's just no need.
No.
So it's I think I'm just attracting some of these things now. But that reminds me of another time actually. I was working in one of those Freemasons buildings in Birmingham Town Centre.
Oh, okay.
So the Masons, they're like a secret society, even though it's not that secret. And I had one of the young lads, Jordan, working with me at the time, and he was scared of the dark as he is anyway. Like, but I was winding him up when we was down there because we had our head torches on and we're routing whatever cables and stuff. And because he was scared, I was like, yeah, but you know what it is though, ain't it, mate? If there's a ghost by you, they drain the batteries, don't they? Your phone will die, your head torch will die. As soon as I said that, both our head torches just died. And they were brand new as well, brand new pack of batteries and everything, and both of them just died. Oh God, he ran out of there like a little girl, he did. I was laughing my head off. So luckily, my phone was alright, I got the torch on my phone, but oh God, he didn't want to go back down afterwards. That just popped in my head. Yeah.
Going back to your first story, they do say when you remodel or doing work to the house that it brings the activity up more.
It can disturb and revitalise any.
I wonder why though. Why?
I don't know. I mean, the kitchen that we ripped out, that was about 35, 40 years old.
Ooh, that's not a kitchen.
Yeah, the customer had lived in the house for, I think, about 15 years. So it's the first major thing she's having done to it anyway. The style of the house as well, it would have been one of those that had the old outhouse toilets originally.
Oh, okay.
And so over the years, they've had them knocked through and extended a little bit. So yeah, could be something like that, just because I'm there making more mess and changing something that someone has already had done that there wasn't too keen on it. Yeah, it was just a strange experience, and
Yeah, I suppose obviously because we've talked about it on the podcast before, it's probably
yeah, I thought
stayed on your mind a bit more.
yeah, I thought I'd have to bring it up. But if there's anyone, I know we did say it before, but if you've got any experiences or anything yourself, paranormal or extraterrestrial, just write in, let us know. I haven't actually checked the emails this week because it's been a long week, so I apologise if someone has emails. I'll get to it on the next episode.
Still our boy Daniel, isn't he?
Yeah.
So far.
Well, Danny G. Right, so moving on from any of this lot now.
All I got from that, remember like an Ali G movie where like he picks them all up on that like the FM like,
Yeah.
and he's like just like Ali G's now just like
That's it. Oh god. Again, if you want to send another email in, just don't be shy. We're here for your questions. So I've heard of this the other day. Have you heard of vabbing?
what?
Vabbing.
No.
So I didn't have a clue. I'd never heard about this before or anything. So I assume it's spelled VABBING, and I thought, is this some new form of vaping or something? Is it like a contest for it or whatever? Nothing to do with vaping. So you know that like pheromones, they have the scent, and it's how we attract each other with natural scents and stuff. So apparently there's a newish trend of women that are doing something similar, but basically they're getting a bit of their lady juices and rubbing them on their necks and whatnot instead of using perfume. So they're using their natural scents.
But the neck will look like a glazed donut, mate.
Well, it depends on what kind of lady they are, really, ain't it? But it just made me think, like, so I've been with a lot of ladies in my time, and there's a fair few that I would definitely not want to be smelling that walking around. I'm not saying that I always smell the freshest, but there's a few fucking crab sticks that'll be walking around, definitely. We all like to go to the seaside, but I wouldn't want to be living next to a fish and chip shop, if you get me drift.
It's just I can't. Why? Like,
Honestly,
why? Like,
I don't know why.
It's like you get these things like you think it. That's one thing, and you do it. It's a whole other thing. So like,
Yeah.
then to put it out there that you do it.
Yeah. I don't know. All I can imagine really is that some lady's been with a chap, and it's like he's bigged it up saying that it smells like roses. You should turn it into a perfume or something. That she's like, had a little bit of a rub, and then dabbed it on her neck and stuff. And then as she's with the friends, they're all like, "What's that smell?" And then she's convinced them to do the same, and it's just become a bit of a trend now. Yeah, it's their own and that. Yeah, it's a bit of a strange one.
Yeah.
We don't have to put up with it now, but could you imagine if you're sitting on a bus, it's a hot day like it is today, and they never smell the best in general, but you just smelling that extra bit of a fucking whiff. Oh God, no. Imagine that, like they're just walking around, there's flies just darting around them and that as well, thinking that they're going to have a snack. Obviously not all ladies have got a nasty twang to them, but again, if it's fermenting on the necks and stuff, like throughout the day, oh God, I hope I don't.
I just don't understand why.
Yeah, I really don't know.
Like if you keep it in house, it could. Do you get in terms of like that's what you and your partner like, and that's what they kind of get off. But then to go out in public and have, you know.
Yeah, I don't know why they do it, but I do see these stupid adverts of it's a male cologne and it's pheromones. Remember like the old Lynx advert?
Yeah.
So it was like
You had the clicker.
yeah, and it sprayed himself, and then as he turned around, there was like hordes of women chasing after him.
Yeah.
So that's what these pheromone adverts are like, basically. He's spraying it on himself, and then every woman just looks at him and like they're all attracted.
Did you have one of those Lynx clickers?
I did, yeah.
They come. Yeah, I think you had to get like buy 3 or something to get them. Never used to come in every pack.
No, I don't know if it was like a special pack or something, wasn't it?
No.
Similar to what they have at Christmas.
Was he Ben Affleck in that advert to it?
I'm
I'm sure it was.
Yeah, I think it was.
And he'd like when a girl would look at him as he walked past, he'd click it.
Yeah. I think that was before. Well, we was in school, wasn't we? I believe around that time. So that was before Rolls.
I think it was what 2001 or 2000, something like that, maybe.
Yeah. So that was while we was in our nerd school days. Before we started getting with the ladies. But yeah, so I thought that was just a strange one that I'd bring up to you.
And what's that called?
Vabbing. I'm assuming it's spelled this way anyway. VABBING. I mean, I'm definitely not going to ask my wife to start doing it. No, I'm just saying, because I'm not saying it in a bad way. If it does work and it starts attracting men, then we can't have anyone trying to link up, can we? But speaking of bushes, anyway. So obviously I'm up early every day and I'm walking the dog. So I think it was Tuesday. So I didn't have to leave out early, but I'm still up around 4 o'clock anyway. So taking the dog on a walk, and then as I'm coming back around, there's this old lady that lives over the road. And you know where you've got those houses where they've got their own garden, and then there's like a bit of grass next to the house, and then there's the pavements.
Yeah.
So that grass isn't theirs actually.
No.
But this lady, fair play to her, she always looks after it, cuts it and everything. There's a load of little fancy plants and stuff. But as I was getting back around to the house, so bear in mind it's 5:30 in the morning, roughly at this point. She's already outside, just trimming these bushes and that. I thought, is that what it gets to really? When you retire and you're at that age, you've got nothing else to do. That 5:30 you're gardening in the morning. I appreciate she wasn't, using the lawnmower and that, but 5:30 just outside,
I suppose
trimming a bush.
it's one of them.
A green bushes, nothing else. I'm not going back to them smells again. Just smell the grass, no fish.
It's one of them, because I know I like to wake up and get it done. So if she just, I don't know, got up, couldn't sleep, just wanted to get it done.
Oh no, she's always up early, because she's one of these ladies that takes the car off the drive and parks it on the road, because obviously I've got the hospital round the corner, and you do sometimes have the doctors or other staff just parking up. She's in a little cul-de-sac bit round the corner, so she puts it on the road to stop one less person from parking on the road where they're entitled to, because it's
The pay road tax.
yeah. So she's one of those. I do see her early every morning. Never says hello to me. The amount of times I walk past, say morning or hello and that. No, miserable.
Too busy and too occupied trimming.
I think it's just one of those personalities where it's everyone younger is antisocial and I don't want to speak to them. They're going to have attitude. Plus, she's probably seen the dog pissing up one of her bloody little plants or something, so she doesn't like me. But yeah, it's I just, not that it's strange, but I just thought it was a bit.
It's a
too
bit
early
early,
for
yeah.
something like that,
Just
really.
because you don't want to upset the neighbours, and it's a bit common courtesy, but
Let's say there wasn't no
mindset you have, though, isn't it? No,
yeah,
it's good.
There wasn't no lawnmower, but you know, it's just strange. You'd think, I'd like to think if it was me rather, that I'd do something similar to what I do now. Get up, have a cup of tea, you know, chill for half an hour or so, and then, you know, walk the dog and that. I'd like to think I'll be doing something like that instead of literally the crack of dawn as soon as there's the sunlight, getting straight out and pottering around. You know, I'll go to bed early enough as it is. I don't want to be looking at that as a lot. Well, I don't like gardening, so I don't know why I'm even trying to think about it. I can't be out in the sun too long, can I? It's a ginger thing. Yeah, so going from that now then, I've got some of our new feature, our fest holes.
Yeah. We've got to make a whole episode of these.
To be fair, there's thousands on there, so we could do a whole episode.
To be fair, if someone would have told about that fabbing on one of these, I would have said that ain't true.
You know what? I'm surprised I haven't seen it on here actually. I mean, I've not spent all week on it anyway. I've only just the odd bits here and there that I've seen it. So this first one. Right, so during military training in 2000, I walked into my friend's room to see 5 guys sitting on chairs and masturbating to porn on the single TV. They had loo roll tubes taped to their faces like binoculars, as making eye contact would be gay. I left very quietly.
No, I can see that happening up until the toilet roll as binoculars.
To be fair, I could see that though as well.
Because then, why watch in the same room, just go one after another?
No, so it's not. Yeah, I don't know why they're doing it together.
Yeah,
I don't know.
So
why
it's
they're
gay
doing it
anyway.
Yeah, it's
not. Well, it's just because you could just turn like this and still look. You can still turn your head.
Yeah. So what they're trying to do is the way horses have the blinkers,
To the side.
Yeah, to block the peripheral vision. So that's what they're trying to do.
Yeah, but someone could just quick look.
Yeah, and you're still going to be hearing each other, you know.
And also, how the skis are walking? Why isn't the door locked or anything?
It was probably the communal room, wasn't it?
But then, so someone's gonna see. So
yeah, it wouldn't have just been that one person.
I'm gonna go that one's fake. That one's got to be fake because you wouldn't leave the door unlocked. You would go one after another, or proper stop the vision. Not just put them so you can still turn your head.
Yeah, but
I get because it's army that if you take away the army, did he say it was army?
Yeah. So
if you take away the army from it, you'd think it's bullshit.
Yeah.
But because it's army, there is some validation to it.
Yeah, that's why I think it's real.
But the extent of it.
Well, I mean, it's a lot of detail, isn't it? But no, I do think it's real because there's all the acts, rites of passage and everything that they make these. Not so much these days because it's all bloody politically correct.
You do see a lot of videos of girls in army barracks and they're all watching, which I get.
Yeah.
But it's just the it's just the
toilet roll.
If you didn't say the toilet roll thing, 100% true. That makes it a lot. Because when I've seen all these videos, I've never seen one. They're all like, wait.
I don't know. I mean, it's not something that we've done either. When we were younger. I mean, we all had the toilet roll tubes and pretended that they were binoculars or a telescope.
Yeah, but we never put the two together.
No, what I was getting at is that we never, on a sleepover, we never whacked on some porn and both like watched it and had a wait near each other.
But what I'm saying, look, Jack, if take away that, I'd say it's true, and the door probably being locked would be the only questionable thing. But then that just makes I don't understand who said let's all put this porn on, but we can't see each other. It's gonna be gay, but you can still turn your head. So you want to go truth on that?
I do, yeah, because it's in the year 2000 as well.
Yeah.
So it's harder to get your hands on internet porn.
Yeah. But still go after another.
I know the good.
It's the toilet.
They're in training. Time's of the essence. They've got to just bang it out.
How are you gonna find? How many people was there?
4.
So that's 10 toilet rolls. Empty toilet rolls. Yeah. No man. So the toilet roll makes that a lie for me, but you're gonna go with true on that one.
Yeah, because I think that if there was a bit more detail as well. So yeah, it says that they're sitting on chairs. I'd like to know how close the chairs are.
Never forget,
Are they completely
in
naked?
2000, there was just, TVs weren't that big. I would assume that'd be in a communal block if you want to.
Yeah, so it would have just been.
Look at someone in the dorm in an army barracks or whatever.
Yeah, well, back then it was probably just like a 20-inch TV in the communal room.
So you would assume that'd be quite close together as well.
Yeah. And then, how naked are they? Are they still wearing the tops and they've just pulled the bottoms down and they're just dicks out?
I think that's what would be worse, being completely naked or doing that. Like just putting your shorts down and leaving your t-shirt on.
But I mean, to them, they're not going to be embarrassed, though, are they? They're already there having a wank with each other.
I think one would be naked or two. I think yeah.
Yeah,
It
at
depends
least
on
one
your,
of them's
it
taking
depends
the
on
top
your,
off.
your style of choice.
Yeah.
If you want your belly on, if you want it on your belly or your t-shirt, I suppose.
But again, I wonder if they were having it as a posh wank. Did they have a condom on while they were wanking? Because I wouldn't want to be cleaning up the mess afterwards. Because
They've got toilet roll on of their eyes.
Maybe
they're
that's
not wearing
yeah,
condoms.
maybe
right?
that's why they had the toilet roll
No.
tubes, because they just reeled it all off. And I was trying to clean that mess and thought, is that mine? Is that theirs? Oh, yeah, it's so you're going full, so I'm going real with that one then.
As I said, I'm only going first because the toilet roll. Take out the toilet roll, I'd say it's true.
Right. So another one. I was at a safari park where you drive your cars through the enclosures. And when we were in the lion enclosure, I really needed a piss. Could not hold it in, so I jumped out the car and pissed behind the tree. Now I'm calling bullshit straight away on that. Because it's bad enough when you're just driving through the monkey enclosures. They're on the car and they're monkey on the car, fuck off.
Yeah.
They're ripping off your window wipers and all that. And so, why you think you can get out when there's lions around, that just because they've lived in a cage the whole life and they're used to eating raw chicken that's just chucked to them and that, why would you think that it's okay to get out and get your little fucking dick out and piss behind a tree as well? It's something that they would have already marked up. They've got their sense around. You start throwing a new sense in there, they're going to be coming straight over like, what you doing, dickhead?
No, that's a lie.
It has to be.
Because then, it's just a law.
Yeah. I should have took notes of some of the comments on it. I didn't look at any of those, to be honest. So yeah, whoever confessed to that one, you chat shit.
What are you lying for?
Why are you lying? So another one. Went on a first date with a girl who told me she had an addiction to drinking vinegar by the bottle. There was no second date.
No, I think that's probably true, mate.
Yeah, so I believe that this was more of one of where I thought we could have a little discussion afterwards, because what would your thoughts be of that?
So, my partner literally would do that. What's that thing you eat? Cockles.
Yeah.
And she drinks the...
The juices.
And she looks at me while she's doing it as well.
See, again, so that's a weird thing that I can see happening as well easily, because
Maybe that's what they're going to...
Yeah, maybe that's yeah. So my wife did the same with gravy.
And she's not northern?
No. She's ginger, but not northern. No. We've been out for a meal, family meal, and she's ordered 2 extra little gravy pots, and essentially just drank straight out of them. She hasn't physically picked up the little gravy jug and drank it, but it's on the plate, and she's almost as if it was like soup, just spooning it up, shoving it in her mouth. And it's just gravy. Like, when it's on its own after everything else, like, I just don't see the points in it. Saying that, my little sister used to do it as well, actually. She would physically make a jug of gravy and just drink it as if it was like a cup of coffee or something.
Well, why don't you just get one of those...
The Bovrils.
Bovrils, yeah?
Yeah, Bovrils are boss. Yeah, I don't know why you just wouldn't do that. It's a different taste, to be fair, though, isn't it? Depending on what gravy.
Yeah.
So you've got nothing strange that you would do anything like that with? Saying that, you love your mayonnaise, don't you?
Yeah, I do probably put a bit too much mayonnaise and
Yeah.
stuff.
Remember the amount of times I've said to you, do you want some chips with their mayo?
Yeah. But not in terms of. No, I'd say nothing that comes. Nothing where I want to drink vinegar or gravy.
Nothing weird.
You know, like when you drink. I just imagine like in the plate.
Yeah, and that's the thing, though, because it's always going to be a plate, and you're never going to have a bowl of like chicken and gravy or something. It's always going to be on a plate, isn't it?
You know, I think one of my brothers used to do that, drink the gravy from the Sunday dinner.
Nah. My plate's chaos at the end of it because it's like residue of mash and gravy and like little bits and bobs, and like I'll just let the dog have a quick look of it and then quick rinse in the dishwasher.
To be fair, my plate's always empty.
Oh no, I'll eat all the food, but I'm not gonna lap up the gravy and that. It's gonna be a bit messy. But again, the wife does that. She'll literally run a thumb along the plate, licking it like it's bloody. You know, like your child's got a bit of dirt on the face or something, and then like wiping the face. She does that with the plates.
That one, 100% true.
It's definitely true.
100% true.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully this person's found true love now since the vinegar lady. Right, and then we've got another one. Her confession, to my amazement. Been with my girlfriend for nearly 5 years, lived together for free, never heard or even known when she has taken a shit, ever, not once.
That's a lot.
Not even when we've been in a hotel room.
No, that's
Her dedication to me not knowing. I think that person is just oblivious. So, I couldn't go through, if I was her, I couldn't go through that much effort just to hide a fart. Let alone go to the toilet and that.
Unless the farts and shit that stinky.
But it's like,
no, you wouldn't care, would you?
No, because if your bowel movements are that
sometimes you just have to do it. You just have to do it.
Like if it stinks and that, that's more reason to be like, look, I'm going to have a fucking shit now.
Yeah,
like,
that's a lot. Yeah. You just have a shower, just to, like have one then, but.
I think he's just that oblivious that he doesn't realise what's going on. He's probably always on his phone.
Or is a lie.
Yeah.
I think it's a lie, mate.
She's definitely pooped near him or while they've been together. You know, again, because if you're in a hotel, how long are you in the hotel for?
Yeah,
she hasn't been, like, even if it's just a long weekend, a 3-day weekend, she's not been for a shit.
No.
Or she's waited for him to go and.
Did a shit for free? That's a fucking lie.
Nah. I mean, I know you've done it when you've been constipated, but you know you've not done it on purpose.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to make yourself that way.
No. So, last one now. This one resonated to me because hopefully it reminds you of a story. I'll read it out, and you should remember where I'm going through with this. So, a drunk bloke at Liverpool Street Station was struggling to find his train. I asked him, "Where are you going?" He mumbled, "Where?" Clearly, he was so drunk, so I helped him to get help. As we pulled away, I realised where in Hearts was a later stop. It was the last train. So this person has seen this drunk man stumbling around, can't find his train.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a bit of a language barrier because, as we touched on before, you can go 20 minutes and there's different accents. So he's asking, "Where, WH, are you going?" And this drunk bloke wants to go to where, WAR. And so he's helped him off the train. No, you need to go speak to security or whatever. And then he's like, missed the last train then, poor sod. But
are you on about Manchester?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I don't even know when it was now. Good 10 years ago, roughly.
Oh, yeah, I'd say about 2007, 2008.
Yeah, so
2008.
I think, well, if we're going to tell it, might as well tell the whole story, really. So we went to Manchester to watch Kanye West.
Yeah, it was about 2008, yeah.
So we went to Birmingham Town Centre, got the train. It was just the four of us, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then as we got off the train, torrential rain, we was toddling around, and then the one person with us had left their bag on the train.
Yeah. And this is back in the day where you had to wear shoes to go out, like clubs. You had to wear shoes, otherwise you're just a no-go.
Yeah.
I hated them times.
I know.
I fucking hated them.
Us two, we carried on, toddled around a bit, while the others went to try and find the bag left on the train.
Back to the train station.
Obviously gone. So we carried on from there then, eventually met back up, no shoes, no go. So we carried on, tried finding the friend that we was going to stay at. That was all of a saga. We was all drenched. I remember going to a shop and getting some socks. So then we've gone to the concert. That was an alright concert in general.
Yeah.
It was a good enough night in that sense. And then we tried to get into the clubs afterwards, but because there was no shoes for one person, couldn't happen. So we ended up just going straight to the train station.
Yeah,
Didn't even go back to the other person's house to sleep the rest of the night. We just went to the train station, and I remember us sitting there, and it was just the drunk bloke that come over and just started talking to us all. And
absolutely rubbish, wasn't it?
yeah, he was mumbling, trying to ask us questions, and then it was the security that came over then, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And
Moved him on.
I think his name was John or something, wasn't he? Come on, John, come
What
on.
have I done?
Leave
I just
him
remember
alone.
him going up this. What have I done? Nothing.
Yeah.
What have I done?
What have I done?
But in hindsight, why didn't we just book a hotel?
Because we was meant to be staying at, I
Yeah,
can't
but
remember his name now.
after that, rather than staying in the train station, because we realised at some point we missed the last train, so we'd have to wait till next morning to go home.
I think the idea was we just wanted to just get back home.
Yeah,
So
because the early train, I think it was like 6 o'clock, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was around that, so it was just like,
It was
just
like
get
just
the first
waiting
train.
out, yeah. I wouldn't do that now, mate.
No chance.
Just,
God. We've done loads of stupid knocks like that.
I don't know why
haven't
we, yeah.
Yeah.
When you look back at it, you just change logistically.
Yeah,
Just be prepared.
I know. Because even like when we went to Liverpool, the one time and it was, like, there was only like, we only had like 2 rooms between 6 of us or something. And then we was like, yeah, be alright, we'll just all sleep in the same rooms. And then obviously there's security on the door and they're like, no, you haven't got a room booked in here, so you ain't coming in. So we ended up just going up, getting our bags and just going down and sleeping in the vehicles again then. I don't know why we did stupid stuff. God, I don't miss them days.
No.
Like, there were times of the laughs, but yeah, messing around like that, I do not miss them. God. Right, so after that little trip down memory lane,
Yeah.
I think we'll call that a pod now then.
Yeah, definitely. We've covered a lot of aspects.
Yeah.
Some more disgusting than others.
I know. I think I'll have to put in a bit of thought about what we would do on an alien invasion. Maybe we could do that as a special in a couple of weeks, like how we did with the zombie attacks. So yeah, I know I've already says it, but all the socials on the YouTube side will be floating up and down and flashing here and there as they do. But send us an email, realtalkingpod@gmail.com, or tweet us, slide in the DMs at Ash and JD. Yeah, literally anything, any questions, any topics, any experiences, paranormal, extraterrestrial, or just life experience, let us know. Just send us a message. So, yeah, leave it at that for the rest of the week then.